Did you know that all the wealthiest people in the world, they simply just don't pay taxes? How is this possible, and is there a way for you and me to do the same thing? Stick around because I'm going to be exposing how some people claim to not have to pay taxes all through real estate. Let's talk. So there are plenty of wealthy people in the world who have figured out how to avoid paying taxes completely legal and doing it through real estate. Let's take a look at someone who claims to avoid taxes and let's see if this actually really works.
How I'm gonna trade this one single family property and get 4 different property tax-free by using the 1031 exchange
Love it,
method.
love it.
All right,
This
in
idea is
video,
amazing.
I'm gonna show you guys in real time how I'm gonna actually trade this property. And
That's
I'm
an
gonna
ugly
go to another
property
site
too.
to show you guys what I'm buying. And I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna actually do all this, pay no.
So I love it when big YouTubers or just people who are really wealthy and they've been doing this for a long time, they actually take us with them. They show them what they do. They explain things. They're out in the field, so to speak. Those who just sit behind a desk all day and we never see them out doing anything, it's almost like, well, do you really know what you're doing and what you're saying? And are you actually an expert in your field?
By using this 1031 exchange, I'm gonna explain all that to you also, okay? Let's go. This property here is one of my first few property I bought 20 years ago, okay?
Oh, he's got great
This
equity.
property I bought this in
Bought it 20 years ago.
2004
Got equity.
$192,000. We're in an area that I consider in the Seattle area. This is more like a C area. If you guys all hear me talking about, there's 4 types of real estate market. There's A, B, C, and D.
So I love that he classifies different areas and ranks them because not all rental properties in any area are created equal. There are some areas that demand high rent, but the mortgages are high, so you're not really cash flowing a lot. And then there's areas where there's not a lot of rent and the mortgages are not that high either, but there's a high crime rate or there's not good school, something like that. So, you know, he has like this middle tier. He's really balanced with it where he wants, you know, a house that's not too expensive, but still worth it, still good area, but can demand a good high amount of rent. So that's a brilliant strategy.
A is the super high end. D is the more of the, you know, rough, high crime area. C is coming out of there, and then B is more stabilized, moving into A. This is considered the C area. But then recently, this nonprofit right here,
Man, that's kind of
they
cool.
bought this whole piece of land, and they approached me. They said, "Hey, Dad."
So that's kind of cool. He has a pretty good relationship with his neighbors. For all of those who are new into real estate, get in good with neighbors, with the community, lenders, other agents, other investors. Having that good relationship, showing that you are willing to work with people, you'll get way more deals and better deals as well.
We want to know, would you consider selling this house to us? So at first I didn't want to sell it, but then I heard
Yeah,
the
I wouldn't want to
vision
sell
and
it
I wanted to
either,
support
but
the nonprofit. And so I decided, okay, fine. And we worked out a deal.
that's cool that he's got that
basically,
mindset
no
about it,
commission,
like his hoodie
as
says.
is, we sold this property for $600,000 as is.
That's
Think about it,
insane.
okay? In
600.
Seattle, historically.
1,000 is an insane amount to sell that property for. At least compared to what I'm used to here in Louisiana, stuff that 600,000 looks nothing like that.
And you're a double in value. So let's call this almost 200 grand. It's been 20 years now, and it almost doubled twice. So it doubled 1.5 times. So 200 doubled to 400, and then 600. That's one of the reasons why I'll consider selling this property and moving into a B area, which I'm going to show you soon. And I'm going to do a 1031 exchange to defer any capital gain.
1031. That's it. Never pay Uncle
probably less
Sam
than
if you don't have to.
$90,000. So I might have close to $500,000 worth of equity to roll
Golly.
into my next couple projects.
500,000 is
Now
insane.
what the 1031 exchange strategy is all about.
Let's
When
see.
you own rental property, like here, and if you're ever going to sell the property, if you don't buy another rental property, you know, like-minded property, okay, then you have to pay capital gains.
Yep.
So let's say for
Uncle
example, I
Sam.
bought it for 200, I sold for
Uncle Sam is gonna come for your money regardless, no matter what you do. If you buy something and then you sell it and you make money on it, Uncle Sam is coming for you. That's why I firmly believe that real estate is far better than taxes, because this is going to be one way. I have a feeling that he's going to say the right things. This is going to be one way that you can avoid legally paying taxes. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur and you don't want to have to pay taxes, this is one way that's going to work. Guaranteed. It has worked for years and it'll still work until they change the tax code.
But 600,000, I mean 400,000 I wouldn't gain. I would have to claim that how much money I made in my income, which would be paying a lot, because if I'm on a 50% bracket, I'll be paying half of that to Uncle Sam,
200,000 gone.
which would be a major loss. When I sell, I never cash out.
That's
I
it.
always roll it to another property. When you sell, you have to sell as what they call like-minded type of property. So real estate rental into real estate rental.
Investment for investment.
Number two, it has to be the same price or more. So $600,000, you can sell this and get at least $600,000 or more, or you can actually sell it and get 2 property or 3 property, adds up to more than 600,000.
And this is a great strategy, honestly, for all of you new investors out there. If you just bought your first, or you're thinking about buying your first investment property, don't have it in your mind that you're going to sell and cash out that equity later, because you're going to get hit with taxes. Now, remember, this is only investment properties. 1031s don't work for primary residence homes, because usually you're not going to pay taxes on that equity anyways. Check with your CPA though. If you're a new investor and you're like, I want to get into real estate, if you're going to sell a property, or you think, okay, look, this property has reached its, its life's end for me, it's made the money, have a lot of equity, don't sell and cash out. Sell that property and get something better. The idea is, if you're going to sell, it has to be better than what you just had, because why sell something where you have a lot of equity and you're cash flowing 500 a month to buy something that now only going to cash flow 400? That doesn't, you might as well just keep that first property, cash flow a little bit more.
The moment this property closed next week, the clock ticked. I have 180 days window.
Yep. First 45 days too.
Close.
I'm sure y'all mentioned it.
The first 45 days, you got to identify at least 3 property. You don't have to close on right away. You have to identify 3 property in the first 45 days.
And if anybody's out there wondering, is this like a state by state thing, or is this like a national, like federal type thing? Yes, it is something that is nationwide. It is. There's not different laws for different states. Each state might have different tax rates and things like that. But when it comes to this is something that is nationwide, every single state.
And after 45 days, you have the remaining time to close on the deal. What we did, you guys, was we told the nonprofit, hey, I'll make a deal with you. We can agree on everything, but I'm not going to close this deal until I identify some property I want to buy first.
So that's not a bad strategy. Something I would recommend actually trying to find these properties once you get into contract selling. So if you have your subject property here and you go to sell that, you have it listed. As soon as you get into contract with it, start looking for those properties right away. Because if you're in a contract, let's say you can move it quick and you got 3 weeks, that'll give you an extra 21 days to start looking and identifying 3 properties. But if you want to do it this way and it's not hard for you and you have, a lot of time and you're not super busy with other things, then, 45 days should be plenty.
Because if I can't find something and I run out of time to buy and to close, then I got to end up paying the tax. So I told the nonprofit, if you're not in a hurry.
And to my knowledge, there's no way to extend that either. It's 45, clear and shut.
So now I'm going to show you guys right now what I'm actually buying. This is the property that I'm actually trading, one property into this property. Okay?
And it's ugly. It doesn't look like nothing, but
few things, okay?
He probably knows what he's doing.
More of a B area. So I didn't mind trading a house that is from a C area into a B area.
So he's upgrading. So upgrading is always a nice thing. If you can take one property and upgrade it, definitely do it.
Now, I'm going to tell you the other reason why I trade this property, okay? When I buy a property, I like to buy a property that needs a lot of work. I don't like buying
me too. I love doing the same thing.
I like buying value-add property, and
So when he says turnkey, so turnkey properties are properties that are all ready to go. They're completely renter ready. They've been painted, upgraded with, maybe new floors, appliances. They're completely ready. All you have to do is buy it and go rent it out. Sometimes they even have a tenant already in there.
Ideally, property where I can force value. Remember, value add is buying a property that you rehab what's already there. Forcing value is adding more bedroom, bathroom, square footage. So again,
I like doing both. Both are awesome to do.
You got to buy like-minded property.
Investment for investment.
Real estate against real estate, rental against rental. So that property right there, I sold.
And remember, you can buy more than one property.
Same price and more. And remember, I have $500,000 with the sweat equity from that property.
I like how he says sweat equity.
Okay, so here's
shows he puts work into
it. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, only about 800 square feet. It's on a 4,800 square foot lot. Now, this property, I got a good deal on it. It was an off-market deal. I paid $350,000 for this fixer-upper.
Probably cash.
Now, you're gonna ask me that, well, that's not $600,000. I actually have to go buy 2 property, okay? I took my $500,000. I'm paying cash for this property. Which
That's
is
smart. Paying cash for
I
it.
think I have another $150,000.
He pays cash for it. It
buy
gives him
another.
Look, he pays cash for that. It gives him a lot of options. He can actually improve it. Once he improves it, he can go get a mortgage on it, easily pull out more than he needs, more than he initially put in, and he can easily take that. And because that is a cash out refinance type of loan, that's considered a debt. So debts are never taxed. So you can take that and go buy something, whatever you want with it. You can go out and buy a car with it. You can go out and buy anything you want, more real estate, because it's a debt.
So right now, this is one property I already got tied up. I'm working on another property now, and I gotta use the balance of 150. We're gonna probably spend about 80 grand to rehab this property. So when it's all done, this property is gonna be worth probably about 600,000. This is one of the reasons why I bought this property. You guys see this house, right? Mm-hmm. It sits more towards the front of the lot. So from the house all the way back to the alley, that's the backyard. On a single family zoning in Seattle, you can put an extra home in the back.
That's a cool
now,
option.
I told you, corner lots are ideal.
Not everywhere has that.
Alley is an idea.
Definitely check with your local zoning to see if you can do that.
Backyard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a detached ADU back here. Typically a 1,000 square foot, it's gonna cost me about $350,000 to build it. When this thing is all done, this thing's probably worth about $650,000, maybe $700,000. I have easy sweat equity. 300. The
That's
reason
crazy.
why I traded that property for this property, because I get to trade one house and I get to have 2 houses.
Hopefully y'all are starting to see how powerful real estate really is and how powerful it can be, because he traded one property that I'm sure was, it was good. It's probably going to cash flow for him. No problem. He's got equity, but he took that and he's going to trade it in for what seems 3, 4, 5 properties that are going to cash flow way more. He's going to have way more equity when he's all done with it. He's going to be able to free up all his original cash. I mean, there's nothing in the world that compares to what real estate can give you. Not the stock market, not a 401k, not Bitcoin, nothing.
Add them both together, that's $470,000 in sweat equity off of 2 property.
500, half a million.
$500,000 with the sweat equity off that house. I already used $350 to buy this. I got $150,000 cash left to go buy me another property. So at the end of the day, I trade one property in and get 4 property.
So if y'all heard him right, he's basically going to take $500,000 of equity in one house, turn it into 4 houses, and probably, depending on the market where he's at, close to $1 million in equity after doing it right. Sure, he's gonna have to put up some cash to rehab that front house, put up some cash for the back, but he's taking $500,000 in one house, turning it into 4 houses, and probably close to $1 million of equity. Insane.
And I deferred the tax and pay no tax because this 10
even better, no taxes.
That's how you grow your net worth and pay Uncle Sam no money.
Hopefully you guys are catching how to do real estate the right way. There's nothing else, like I said, that can compare to the cash flow you can get, the equity, the net worth, like he said. And at the same time, you pay no taxes. I mean, it does not get better than that. So now that you guys know how to defer all the taxes, and you have it in your mind that as a new investor, I'm not going to sell my houses, you're definitely in a situation where you're now thinking, how on earth do I fund or buy these flips? I've never done it before. I don't have a ton of cash. How do I find the money to afford to buy these fixer-uppers and to afford to put the money into it to buy them? If you want to know these secrets, then click on this video right here so I can tell you all the tips you need to know to how to fund your first property.